Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the Power Hour Panel Talk. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the Power Hour Panel Talk. This evening, we're getting together to talk all about current events. Now, we get together every single Tuesday evening to discuss what's going on in the world, and we want to hear what your opinion is. What do you guys think about everything that's going on across the globe? And I have my amazing co-host with me. There's Wade, Sohaila, and Angel. How are you guys doing this week?
Doing great. Yep.
Muy bien, gracias por preguntar.
Can't believe that we didn't see you last week. We were all on vacation.
I know. I was missing you guys last week, but things come up. But now, as of tonight's first episode, you can catch the Power Hour Panel Talk on Roku TV. So we were away for a little bit of something, but now we're back. So the first thing that we're jumping into tonight, and the first thing that we're really going to be talking about is Georgia's controversial new election law. Now, this law has been making waves, and we do know that there are politicians who greatly support it, and we know that there are politicians, people, and corporations who don't necessarily support this law. So what do you guys think about the law happening in Georgia? And Wade, I'm going to go ahead and start with you because when we were speaking about it this morning, you had a lot to say.
So I am happy about the law. And here's why, okay? If I have to get on a plane, I have to show an ID. If I go get something from the DMV, I have to show an ID. If I go rent a car, I have to show an ID. So why would we not have the most important decision made by the people of the United States of America be verified with an ID? That doesn't, people fighting against that, it doesn't make sense.
So when it comes down to, go ahead, Sohaila.
I agree with that, but I don't agree with them when people are in line, you can't give them water or food. That's ridiculous.
That's a whole different argument.
We're gonna dive into all the restrictions. We'll dive into all the restrictions. So in terms of ID, let's talk about ID and let's break that down. If people are able to get IDs free of cost, I am all for allowing IDs for voting. If every single American citizen is allowed to get an ID free of cost, there's easy access to it, then by all means, go ahead and have IDs at voting booths. But if Americans, because this is what's happening today now in this day and age, is that many Americans in several places across the country have a hard time obtaining some kind of ID. And believe it or not, there are people across the country who actually do not have any type of government issued ID. And I know it's hard for us to believe when we're sitting on the coast, but I've seen it firsthand in places across the country where people who are disenfranchised don't have the ability to go ahead and grab IDs. So I see your face, Wade.
I completely disagree. 100% disagree. All right, so I don't care if your name's Billy Bob Jethro. You got some sort of ID when you were born, all right? And I don't care if you're a military base brat born on an airplane in between California and Japan. You still have some sort of ID and document. My problem comes down to people just showing up and getting the ability to vote, and you don't know who they are. That's my problem with it.
I agree with that. I agree. What do you think?
I don't see any law. I was completely disconnected, but I think Wade is right. If you go into a federal building, I mean, all the places that belong to the government, you have to identify yourself.
And you have to show ID.
But you know what? This is one of the things that a long time ago I was not agree with this. Because a lot of Americans cross to Mexico and they never identify themselves. So yes, I no, don't make me those funny faces.
I'm very curious because in order for me to leave the country, in order for me to leave the country, I have to pull out my handy dandy passport or passport card.
No, but there used to be a lot of like 15 years ago, a lot of Americans, they used to go,
right.
And
In order for me to leave the country,
But you can't do that now. So what do you think about it? You think
I mean, I completely agree. When I was 18, I could just walk through the gates. It was no big deal. Before they put the freaking passports into place,
right?
They didn't care about anything. But you know what they did care about? When I came back, they wanted an ID and they wanted to know what country I was from.
Yeah, but that's not important. You know, anybody can go over there in Mexico and kill anybody or buying drugs. Or,
but
you know,
not anymore. Not anymore. That law is long past. The law is long past since 9/11. Now let's jump back into these. Let's go to the comments. Joanna says, "I do agree. We all should have a government ID, and I believe it should be given for free. Not everyone is able to pay." And again, I'm not talking about driver's license. And when we talk about birth certificates are not accepted anywhere as ID. If you want to go to the liquor store and buy a bottle of liquor, they're not going to accept your birth certificate. But let's go ahead and actually look at the law that everyone's talking about in Georgia. Let's go ahead and take a look at this law as I pull it up. So this new Georgia voting law, again, it shrinks the windows for mail-in ballot requests. And only people who request the mail-in ballots can receive them.
Okay.
Voter ID is required for mail-in ballots. So essentially what that's looking like, or what that may look like, is that you have to put your driver's license number or your social security number in the mail-in ballot to prove that it's you. It limits the number of drop boxes during early voting.
Okay.
It shortens early voting in a runoff election. So as we saw, there was a pretty long runoff election voting for the last election in Georgia. And then here's the one that everyone wanted to debate this morning, and I will allow us to debate today, and that is a ban on handing out food and water within 150 feet of a polling location. So Sohaila, let's go ahead and start with you. What are your thoughts on this Georgia voting law?
I think that's ridiculous. I mean, especially if there's older people that's standing in line and you can't give them a bottle of water. Excuse me? That's ridiculous. That is really ridiculous, whoever put that. And I think these politicians should actually, stand in line too and see how it feels in hot sun.
You realize they stand in line because they have to go vote too, right?
Yeah, that's what I mean. But let them stand in line in hot sun, though.
So Wade and I have been going back and forth on this all day.
No bullshit.
So I know we agree on some parts, we disagree on other parts. Now, the sense of I am not okay with that part, right? Throw the food part out. I'm not too concerned about the food part, but I am very much concerned about the water part. And I think water is a human right. And if someone wants to hand out water, if they're going there, they're not wearing any buttons, they don't have any flyers, they're not saying this water is compliments of this and this candidate, I am very much okay with people handing out water. And I do think this is really pushing people to not go out to vote, because as we saw in this last election, there were voting polls where there were lines and people were waiting for hours and hours. And I know they're saying it's within 150 feet, but still, if someone needs water and it could be a nonpartisan group handing out the water, I don't care. As long as there's no political agenda attached to the water, I'm very much okay with people, whether it is 300 feet or 25 feet from the polling place, handing out bottles of water, a bottle of Evian or a bottle of Deer Park, and it's not attached to any candidates. So Wade, what are your thoughts? I know we do not agree.
So the only way I would agree with this is if the same people that are manning the polling stations that are supposed to be independent are the people handing out the water within 150 feet. No one said that you can't have water. Everyone immediately jumped to this, you can't have water. All right? That's not true. You can have water. You can pass water up and down the line. What they don't want people doing is campaigning with water, saying, hey, this is by, Dickhead Joe. Here you go. Compliments of Dickhead Joe. So they, get that last minute in there. And I can tell you, I've been to plenty of voting stations here in Virginia where there's a table right outside the 100-foot limit that says, hey, vote for Dickhead Joe. That's the reality of it. People will take it too far. So I agree with the law, but I also agree that water is a human right. And if you're going to have a drink within 150 feet, 100 feet, 500 feet, whatever the law is, that it's maintained by those impartial people. That's the only way I would agree with the whole debate. Otherwise, suck it up, Buttercup. You're not waiting in line for hours at 150 feet. I don't care if there's vendors with carts with tacos going up and down the line, 151 feet.
Where did you say that?
California.
He won't have tacos? Angel said,
Free tacos where?
Right. But that last 150 feet, when you're thinking about all the things, the last minute things, should I vote for this person? Should I vote for this? You're hearing the people around you. That should be a time that is completely impartial.
And I agree, it should be impartial. And whether there are groups dropping off water and the people working the polls are the ones handing it out, like I am perfectly okay with that. And I think, again, like I said before, water is human right. But the way that the law is worded, I feel like it would even stop that from happening. So I do think it's putting people at a disadvantage because if they're waiting for hours, we can argue all day about the spirit of the law because that's something that we do talk about. And I think in a sense, even though we don't completely agree, at some points we do agree with the spirit of the law. It would say that people should be able to get water out impartially, but the way that the law is written, it looks as though it would stop that as well. And it's going to really push people away from voting. If they're standing in line for an hour or two, they can't grab water from anyone, so they just leave. And that's why I think it's being restricted. Because again, we saw in Georgia that there were lines to vote hours long. But the lines are literally hours long. And
yeah, and that's what they need to do. They need to be specific on how they're wording things. So what they just said, just like that, it's like, hell no, that's ridiculous. But when Wade says it that way, okay, but they have to write that in that way.
But I don't think, and that's the problem is that somebody will find a loophole because that's what they do. They find loopholes. So unless you blanketly say, and just blanket the whole thing, say, no, you can't do this in any way, shape, or form. That's the only way to prevent the loophole people.
Well, they shouldn't have it then at all.
I agree with you. I agree with you. But then we would turn into literally having jumpsuits at the polling places was sponsored by Joe Dickhead. I mean, so.
Well, they're there before the 100.
They're there anyway. It's exactly. They're going there to the last bit.
So with this whole thing that's happening in Georgia, because we're not going to be debating water all night because I did see that was a possibility. So with this whole thing happening in Georgia, something that has come up is Citizens United and Mitch McConnell. Now, as we all know, in the past, Mitch McConnell was a great supporter of Citizens United, which basically gave corporations the right to participate in elections by, one, funding elections at any amount that they want to, and essentially just voicing their opinions about politics. But now that Coca-Cola, Delta, and the Major League Baseball have all decided to protest or say something against this law, Mitch McConnell has told them corporations to stay out of politics. That was his exact words, to stay out of politics, or there will be consequences. What are your thoughts, guys, on good old Mitch McConnell and his threats and his comments there?
Can we say term election? Can we get him out? Can we get all of them out finally? Unbelievable. It's just, there's no words to describe him. He's ridiculous. Mitch McConnell. And
then Wade, what's your thoughts on this? And Mitch?
So I don't know much about Mitch McConnell. So I really can't speak on that. I could pull some stuff out of my butt, but that wouldn't be fair either. What I can say is from a personal experience, I believe that corporations should stay out of politics, period. Because if a corporation is in politics, it's not for the good of the people. It's for the good of their pocketbook.
That's true.
So let's go to the comments really quickly. Joanna says flip-flop as always. And then Lindsay says term limits all around.
Exactly.
So I love the idea of term limits because the last time people were actually in a vehicle, it was drawn by a horse.
Right.
So I'm all for term limits. I think that's something that we all agree with across the board. In reference to Mitch, I think it's crazy that Mitch made these comments to corporations because Mitch has been a big supporter of corporations having the say. Now, I don't really like corporations getting involved in politics, But because of things like Citizens United, it's not opened the door for them. And if you're going to open the door to allow corporations to fund your election, then you have to let them have a voice other ways as well. So at the end of the day, you can't have it either or. So you either want corporations in politics or you don't want corporations in politics. And Mitch decided many years ago that he wanted corporations in politics. The law passed, and now I think he just has to deal with it. It could be upsetting to him that, it's not going his way, but got to deal with it because you are the reason that corporations are now heavily involved in politics.
Wow.
So I'm going to ask a stupid question. Wasn't he the guy who shit himself on stage?
I don't know if I remember that one. I will look it up. Most people know I don't like Mitch McConnell at all. So I'm not even going to get into that. I'm going to try to keep it very partial and just speak on the facts because I can go on and on for days.
Right.
Now, moving on to something that I find a bit more comical, but it's still in news and it could affect a certain amount of people in this country, especially over there on the West Coast. Now, we do know that Gavin Newsom is facing recall. Many people banded together and they're trying to push Gavin Newsom out, and that is the governor of California. Many people do not like the way that he reacted and he dealt with everything with COVID-19, and they weren't fans of his before. Now, he does have a fair amount of supporters, but someone who is thinking about throwing their hat into the election cycle, if he is booted out of office, is, and again, this is a serious run for office. They're seriously considering it. She is seriously considering it, and that is good old Caitlyn Jenner. Now, I said this is going to be slightly more comical than what we're used to dealing with, but in all actuality, Caitlyn Jenner, she is actually thinking about running for politics. Now, we did see that family is kind of throwing their hat in the rings for many different offices, and we saw with Kanye that he didn't really get very far. But we do know that California does have a history of electing actors and actresses for office. So what are your thoughts? So Sohaila, let's go ahead and go with you. Since you are currently a California resident, what do you think about
she's transgender, right?
Yep, she's transgender.
So she's going to get a lot of votes, that's for sure, especially in California.
So I will say this, and I'm not speaking for the transgender community, but as I have spoken to people within the transgender community, she is not really looked at highly within the community just because of the way that she did certain things. So even though it's California, even though it's a very liberal place, the transgender community is not that big of a supporter of Caitlyn Jenner. And then let's go to the comments. So Lindsay gave that face. Joanna says, what?
I know.
And then Lindsay says, wow. I feel like that's a lot of people's reaction. Angel, what are your thoughts about Caitlyn Jenner possibly running for California, running for governor in the state that you live in, California?
There is no other people better than her, better than him. Well, that's everything we have in California. It's all we have.
So she is thinking about running, but there will probably be more people thinking about running. But she's definitely looking into it.
Probably last night I was thinking to run for California too, but yeah, so
if you want to run, you'll have to face.
I was thinking to tell my wife, hey, run for California, but I mean,
and then Mark says, what is wrong with people shaking my head? And then Wade, last but definitely not least, what are your thoughts on Caitlyn Jenner taking that run for governor in California?
You know what I'm going to say. That's why you're laughing.
I have Kathy on the phone. I kept getting in.
Wow, we're live.
Okay.
Hey, look, we're talking about
now we have the whole combo.
So now you have the clan. Okay, so let's ask my mom here.
Rollers. Hi, Mom.
Hi.
She wants to kind of apologize to whole California because
what do you think of Caitlyn Jenner running for governor?
Oh, come on.
What a stupid! I'm gonna say like Donald Trump say. What a stupid question.
I don't think she's smart enough, or she's smart enough.
Yeah, I don't.
here's what I'm going to go with. All right. And I grew up in California. I grew up right down the street from Hillcrest. And for those of you who don't know Hillcrest is a very predominant gay, LGBT, transgender community. I grew up with these people. And I don't mean these people in a bad way. I'm just saying I grew up with them. I have zero issues on what you want to be. If you want to be a he, a she, a they, an it, an alien, I really don't care as long as you're paying taxes and I'm the king asshole. But what I will say is, what does Caitlyn Jenner, what in his or her right mind makes you think that you are okay to run for Congress unless you're
or governor,
for governor, for city government, for any type of government? Here's what you know: how to run and jump over hurdles,
How to play tennis,
how to accessorize, and how to get on TV. What exactly do you have that you're going to benefit any state for?
Good
So
question.
going to the comments, Joanna says exactly, she just doesn't qualify. And I'll say this, I feel like we're going to see a rush of people who may not be qualified for political office try and run for political office. And one could possibly be okay for local governments and people building themselves up. I just don't think that, this is a good idea. I know we're laughing about it. But there's been a lot of things in politics that we laughed about thinking it was a joke, and then it took another turn and ended up not being a joke. So in all seriousness, this is something
We were laughing. It's like, what? He won?
I have a whole nother career path he could go. She could go. All right, because I'm not being funny when I say this. I don't know how to address Caitlyn Jenner.
Oh, so now it's she. Now it is she.
Okay. I have a whole different route that she can go as the poster child for vasectomies gone bad.
Going to the comments. Going to the comments. I'm just shaking my head. This ties back into term limits and career political families and dynasties need to come to an end, and people need to educate themselves about politics in general and open the door for others. Money mongers, the whole present lot of them.
Right.
And then Joanna is laughing.
Quick question. When Joanna La Reina, when she said she doesn't qualify, that guy or that lady?
Caitlyn Jenner.
Yeah.
Right.
So the question is, who qualifies to run for that position?
Nowadays?
In these days,
You got the most money, they qualify.
Honestly, at this point in time, it really is who has the most money, because running for any kind of office is really, really expensive. And we see, not always, but for the most part, whoever puts the most money into their campaign, whoever spends the most money, usually is the victor. Now, again, that does not happen all the time. The majority of the time that's who we see wins the election. But I'll say this. I feel like people who concentrate a lot of their career on public service is someone that I would like to see in politics, someone I think who qualifies for politics. Because at the end of the day, politicians are public servants. And if you're in a position where maybe your main focus is profit, I don't think the political sphere is for you, because at the end of the day, politicians are public servants. Wait, are you giving me the side eye there? Do you not agree? Go ahead, give it to me.
Bring it on.
It's all about popularity right now. That's all it is. That's all it is. And all I want to know is Wheaties going to put the governor on a box? Because, they put when he won his Olympic medal.
I know. He was on the Wheaties box. So I'm going to tell you right now what the blank stare was. I was trying to think if Wheaties are still in production, because I don't know. I don't eat cereal. So Lindsay says, nowadays it's money or who you know. And then Joanna says, be on a reality show. I guess that's the ticket to politics now.
There you go.
That's really honestly what it'll come down to. Did you like him on Living with the Kardashians or whatever their name was called? Trying to prevent the porn tapes from getting out, version 5.0. Did you like him or didn't you? Because that's really going to determine if you become the governor or not. Now, on the other hand, Todd Gloria down in San Diego, the mayor of San Diego, he would make an excellent governor. He has always been fair. He's always looked at both sides of the issue, and he's always landed on what's right for the people.
And then Mark says, I do agree with that. So Mark says, I hope the people of California can find a serious candidate to bring them back from the edge of collapse. So again, this is all speculation, because in order for Caitlin to even run at this moment, Gavin would actually have to be booted out. There's a little bit of 50-50 there on what could happen. So we will see, but he is facing recall.
Can you imagine though? You're the current governor, and you are hearing rumors that you're about to get booted by the ex-reality TV star. I mean, come on now. That's like being the CEO of a company and you're getting booted by the janitor. All right? It makes sense. It could work. Don't get me wrong. That janitor may have $1 million idea. It may save the company, but I don't think so.
You want to say something?
So Lindsay says, I'm so glad I don't live in California anymore if there are no viable options left in the political arena. Again, Caitlyn Jenner thinking about throwing her hat in, that's something that makes splashes. That's why you hear about it. But if he is recalled, if Gavin Newsom is recalled, then we'll probably see some serious candidates pop up. But until then, I think people are keeping their cards close to their chest. So we will see what happens with that. Now, the next thing that we're going to talk about is, again, this has been making news as well, and it is Matt Gaetz. Now, Matt Gaetz is currently under investigation for sex trafficking. Now, again, he's not under arrest. The Department of Justice has not arrested him. He's not charged with anything, but he is someone that they're looking at in this bigger case. Now, he's not the main suspect, but he is one of the targets in the case. So what are your thoughts about Matt Gaetz and everything that he is being accused of? Because again, he's being accused of trafficking a minor across state lines and having sex with her. Now, she was 17. I know people are saying that 17 may be like the blurred lines. Not my opinion, but that's what some people are saying. But the child was a minor. And if the person is a minor and it crosses state lines, it then becomes federal. So it is a federal sex trafficking case. But not only is he being charged, not being charged, not being investigated for sex trafficking of a minor, they're also looking at him paying for sex as well. So what are your opinions? And then Wade, let's go ahead and go to you. And I will show everyone who Matt Gaetz is really quick. So this is Representative Matt Gaetz. He represents Florida in Congress.
So that photo specifically, when you bring that up, I hear, I hear some Beavis and Butthead right there. Fire! He's on fire!
I tried very hard to find a photo that you guys wouldn't make fun of, and I tried so hard.
It's a comedy gold mine. Because if you ain't thinking Beavis and Butthead, you're thinking Quagmire from Family Guy. Giggity. I mean, this guy is.
Oh my God, that's funny.
So, all right, but let's talk about what he did for a minute. All right.
Allegedly. I want to make sure that all the lawyers out there hear that we said allegedly.
Allegedly, he did this. You can't have a law and then have a gray area law. Either a law is a law or a law is not. Right. Either you have to provide ID or you don't. There's no gray area. You either took a 17-year-old across state lines and had sex with her, or you didn't. There's no gray area. And that's what a lot of people forget. Do I personally believe that there's an issue with two consenting individuals that are a few months, 17 and 3/4, 17 and a half? Do I personally believe that there's an issue between an 18 or 19-year-old with a 17, 17 and a half, 17 maybe, 17 and a half, 17 and 3/4 or a month from 18? I don't think there's an issue with that. You're close enough to an adult that you can vote, you can die for your country, you can do all sorts of stuff except for buy alcohol. So, that's their thing. But you either have a law or you don't. Period.
Yeah. Well, it was clearly jail bait. I mean, she wasn't 18, so, and he did
And
take
then,
it across state lines. So I think he
so
should
I will
be
say
going to
this
jail right
too.
now.
So I have to, because I know in some cases, if the person's within 4 years, it is a misdemeanor. He's 38 and she's 17. So I just want to throw that in there. So it's not even a possibility of it being a misdemeanor.
You know,
Now go ahead and continue,
people out
Sohaila.
there that are married. You know, my best friend is a 12-year age difference from her husband. These things happen.
That's true.
And then Sohaila, what
So
were you
he's
saying?
single, right? He's single.
He's engaged.
He's engaged and he still did this. What a dick.
Well, that regardless, there is no law against being engaged and having sex with somebody else. There's a moral clause, which should be, part of every politician. But if there was, we'd have no politicians.
I agree.
There's a moral item there, but he hasn't broke the law in that case. But he did break the law with someone who was 17.
Correct.
And he had beer in the trunk. He was transporting alcohol across state lines too. Gonna whack him for that? So,
No, I do believe that they should get him for sex trafficking for sure.
Now we do need to look at the facts. I mean, they see how much evidence they have against him, but it's looking as though they have evidence against him.
More evidence? They have pictures of him going through state lines, right? They have pictures of him where he's at, right?
Well, the thing about
allegedly, because
it's a
you're
bigger
innocent, proven guilty.
So it's a bigger case. It is a bigger case. And so there's a man named Joel Greenberg, and Joel was a county tax collector. And what they're saying is that Joel Greenberg was the gentleman who provided Representative Matt Gaetz with the women that he dated. And again, they're saying that he may have allegedly paid for sex with some of these women. Now, right now, currently, Joel Greenberg is facing jail time. He's been arrested. He's in jail right now. And in June, he will be going to trial for sex trafficking. So because this is a much bigger case and it's much bigger than just a 17-year-old, we don't know if maybe Matt is working with the Department of Justice. It is a much, much bigger case than just Representative Gaetz. So I think we do need to pay attention to that as well.
So I'd like to change my opinion.
Okay.
So, and I am open to information, and I change my opinion when there's appropriate information or data provided. And that's what makes us great. That's what makes us human, is we have the ability, and intelligent for that matter, we have the ability when we have new information come in to change our opinions. So my first thought was, okay, it doesn't really matter his age. He was over 18, she's 17. They had a sexual relation. Okay. So I just had someone send me an article that says that federal prosecutors are looking into this sexual relationship, not because of the relationship, but specifically because it could violate federal sex trafficking laws that could make it illegal to coerce someone under 18 to travel across states to have sex in exchange for payment. That's wrong. If they were dating or seeing each other or something like that, it's still not right, but they're close enough to 18, they're close enough to adults, they can make their own decisions. But if he was actually coercing her to travel across state lines and paying her for sex, that's wrong. They need to throw him in the clink and throw away the key.
So,
right, anyways, because it's the law. She was only 17, point blank.
Mm-hmm.
So right now with this case, so let me say this. Representative Matt Gaetz has been known to be a sleazy person. Back when Me Too first came out, there were several staffers that made complaints against him. In Congress, he's been known to show videos of naked women doing the hula hoop that he filmed to members of Congress. So we do know that he's the kind of guy who may be more of the sleazeball side of sex. But with all the information that's coming out, we still don't have exactly the concrete, what we need to see, whether he was guilty, whether it was this, whether it's that. Again, the DOJ is still just investigating him. And if they do arrest him, if they do press charges against him, and then I think we'll have a clearer picture of what's going on. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm not defending his behavior at all. I think the one thing that we all know pretty much is that he was having relations with these women, whether he was engaged or not. But we're waiting for more and more facts to come out. But let's go ahead and jump into these comments really quickly. So Lindsay says, "What the hell? Innocent till proven guilty. Wade will always find a way to find the humor. Yes, you will, Wade." Mark says that today's culture, let the investigators sort it out if he's guilty or not. Joanna says, not one Republican has demanded his resignation. The party of morals imagine it was a Democrat being investigated for the same thing, shaking my head. Right. Lindsay says, he's a grown-ass man. What does almost 40-year-old man want with a teenager?
Exactly.
Joanna says, there's more to the story. And I think when the story comes out, it's going to be a much bigger story than just Representative Matt Gaetz. So we'll see what's happening. And then bingo, she's a minor. Legally, until they are 18, it's a no. Doesn't matter his position or engagement. And again, at the end of the day, I'm not defending this man. We'll see as the facts come out, but we do know that he's kind of a sleazeball. So I mean, I'm not even talking about like a lot of the things that he's done while he's been a governor, like kind of the sleazy things, because that's really not what's important right now. We're trying to focus on the facts that we have. And then Wade, what were you saying?
I said he does. I swear to God, he reminds me of Beavis and Butthead when you pull up his photo.
I will pull it up again. I really did try to find a photo that you guys like would not make fun of, and I failed to do that. So again, this is Representative Matt Gaetz.
I am the great Cornholio. I am keeping for my bunghole.
Did I switch back too fast? I didn't even see that. So I think we have one more comment about this. And then Stephanie says Lindsay Saxon is correct. So that is everything that's happening with Matt Gaetz. So here's something that I wanted to bring up about this, and I'm very, very curious about. And again, it's jumping to the conspiracy theories, but I'm very curious about this, so my own curiosity. For the past several years, we have been hearing of people who follow QAnon. And they've been saying that within politics, there's some kind of sex trafficking ring going on with children. But I was very surprised that none of the QAnon people actually jumped on this story, because as crazy as QAnon people are, this is, sex trafficking in politics. So why do you guys think that the QAnon folks did not jump on this story?
I don't know.
Wow, silence from the crowd. I don't think I've ever heard this.
Oh.
I don't know. I know. I started looking at QAnon when we started talking about it a couple months ago. And I mean, that is a rabbit hole of crazy, batshit crazy. I mean,
so before you say that, I know we have some QAnon followers right now, and they want to speak their piece. So I'm going to say that. So Stephanie says, don't say conspiracy theories. They use that term now to make us sound crazy. So we do have some QAnon people following us, and I'm going to let Wade say his thing. But I really, since you are a QAnon follower, why do you think that the majority of people who follow QAnon didn't jump on this case? And then Joanna says, I know, where are they now? And then Stephanie says, because Q is meant to confuse. And then go ahead, Wade. Go ahead and say what you're saying. I just wanted to ask that question to QAnon followers.
Really like, I don't know if there's a QAnon database or a group or a board that I could look at and explore that isn't batshit crazy. Because when you search QAnon, all you get is the batshit crazy people. They float to the top. So to do a true research and understanding, you got to get below all that crap that's floating on the top and figure out what they're trying to talk about. I haven't found the below the crap area yet. I would love to. Someone send me a link.
Send us the link. So Stephanie wants to make sure that I do correct this. She says, no, I'm not a Q follower. Sorry about that. And then Lindsay says, sex trafficking is a huge problem that has to be brought to an end. It's things like this that get brushed under the rug, that disappears, and then someone gets caught allegedly again, and that's when people start talking about it again. And then Stephanie says, I can agree with that, Wade.
Yeah, I mean, I'd love to talk to somebody who doesn't wear tinfoil on their head. Please.
And then Joanna says, you are correct. Oh my, everyone agreed with you, Wade.
Yeah.
That is a first.
So
our history.
One of Lindsay's posts for a second here.
Which one? This one right here?
Anyone. You see that photo right there? That's
Mhm.
actually my wife. That's 16 years ago. I have always been this goofy. This isn't just for your show. That is our actual wedding photo.
Oh, I know.
That's great. Aw.
When I pulled it up the first time, I started giggling
That's
because I saw that.
Yeah, when they got married.
Oh. Yeah, I've always been entertaining.
So Sohaila, what are your thoughts about QAnon?
You know, I don't follow that. I hear it sometimes, but I just don't follow even what QAnon is or who they are. So I don't have any comment.
To be honest, I don't watch adult movies.
Look, I'm going to tell you who QAnon is. It's the guy running around topless wearing horns.
No.
He's a shaman for QAnon.
Oh,
All right.
him. Okay. But
No,
why,
actually, it's not. It's
why
actually
do they
it's
call
actually
it
not.
QAnon anyways in the first place?
Wait, say that again.
Why do they call them QAnon in the first place? Where did that
QAnon
word come
is-
from?
I don't know exactly where QAnon, the name QAnon came
Right.
from. I think it's Question Anonymous or something like that. Something anonymous because the person is anonymous.
Let's check.
But-
Let's Google it or go to Facebook to find out.
So, I don't want to get down that rabbit hole this evening. But so you know how you guys are saying, the QAnon shaman is one behind it. He's not. There's actually a filmmaker who's saying that he discovered who QAnon was, and this actually came out yesterday, where they're saying they possibly think that it's Ron Watkins, and there's people that they were pretty much saying that that's who it was, but he kept denying it. But this filmmaker is saying that they think that this is it. So when his film comes out, we'll definitely take a look at it and see. But they definitely think, I think it's Ron Watkins who they think QAnon is. So I think they finally unmasked him.
I would like to read you the Wikipedia definition of QAnon, the first sentence, because I'm dying. I'm giggling here. So QAnon, or simply Q, is a disproven and discredited American far-right conspiracy theory alleging that a secret cabal of Satan worshipping cannibalistic pedophiles was running a global child sex trafficking ring and plotted against former U.S. President Donald Trump. All right, look. This is a Hollywood movie right here.
Wikipedia.
I mean,
Yeah, I could see that in Wikipedia.
Cannibalistic pedophiles. I mean, those are all the words there. I mean,
Wow. Dang.
So let me go to the comments. So Lindsay's saying sorry. Yes, he is. Joanna says, we're on your all train now. So everyone's saying, And then Linda says, no idea what Q is. Stephanie says, Q, I feel like makes people research the truth. I'm really hoping that people are researching the truth, but I've seen people just fall down that rabbit hole. But if you're a Q supporter, go ahead and write us in. I'm very curious if anyone out there is a Q supporter. I know we do have a couple Q supporters who do watch the show occasionally because you guys message me sometimes. And then Misty gives a round of applause or a high. That's a high. So I don't know what emojis are. And then Stephanie says exactly, makes you want to research what the truth really is.
I agreed.
Have you
But
seen
don't find the truth on Wikipedia, though, that's for sure.
Have you seen any horror movies by Rob Zombie?
What is
So
it?
you guys said Rob Zombie?
Yeah, have you seen any horror movies by Rob Zombie,
No,
like
I
House
haven't.
of a Thousand Corpses and all that?
Mhm.
All right, they're out there. It's awesome. It's great. I'm a horror fan, right? But this Satan worshiping cannibalistic pedophiles sounds like a Rob Zombie horror flick. I'm here to tell you.
Oh my God, that's so funny.
Yes. And then Sohaila, what were you saying?
No, Angel was actually saying something, but yeah, I was saying that really don't believe in anything you read on Wikipedia because that's open to anybody's interpretation and it's open to anybody that wants to go on there and change things.
You wanna look
Okay, so I'm going to say,
Sohaila?
I've had conversation with Q followers.
Yep.
I research and talk to people before I kind of bring things to the different shows, and I will tell you that's actually what they do believe. That's
Wow.
actually what they do believe. I can go back if I can find some people's posts to show
Crazy.
you, like off air. I'll show you. That's actually what they do believe, and that's why I was very curious as to why no one from Q who believes in QAnon jumped at this because it's a sex trafficking scandal. So I was very curious as to why no one from there. Yeah. And then Lindsay does a face palm. That emoji I can read. I'm the worst one. I can't read emojis.
Are you guys ready for the next topic?
Oh, I am. Thank you. So, as we all know, many states are starting to open up. We know states in the South, such as Texas, are now opening their doors. Many places are open for business, but some place that may be opening their doors that people did not see coming so soon is the great state of California. So California will reopen June 5th fully. So
15th.
No more colorful tears. Oh, 15th. Sorry. Thank you. 15th. If, number one, there's enough vaccines. And then number two, if the hospital numbers stay down. So what are your thoughts on California finally putting in a date to be open fully? If they meet
finally. Oh my gosh.
Well,
let the restaurants and stores be open again.
I won't worry about the restaurants because everybody's celebrating birthdays and weddings. So,
well, that's why June 15th they'll start to be able to do parties and things again.
Well, why wait? There are a lot of people that already started making.
Well, that's true.
Well, I'll say this: Californians aren't really listening. If you go to LA, LA people are listening. LA people are listening. You leave LA, not so much.
Why wait? You can celebrate now.
Right.
Look. All right. So here's the deal, and I'm going to call it exactly as I see it. California is one of the largest populated centers in the world, let alone the U.S. All right. Everybody's on top of everybody in California. Now let's talk about Florida. Same thing. All right. It is a huge population center. Now let's talk about Texas. Texas has the land. I'm not sure where they land in population center, if they're even comparable to California or Florida. I'm not sure. But they've got the land, plain and simple. There's two ways to go with this. Either all three of these open up and they prove that this is all bullshit and everybody else can open up. Or we go back to the old chickenpox party. Remember when we were growing up, the neighbors down the street had chickenpox? Your mom would send you down the road to get it? That's really the only two options we have at this point. And really, I'm of the opinion that fuck it. At this point, if I die, I die.
So I want to put Mark's comment on because I think Mark hit it on the head. This is what I've been saying. Before I pull up Mark's comment, I'll say this. You guys know I've been a supporter of the state shutting down if there's no hospital beds, because at one point, California had no hospital beds, Southern California. And when people were coming in for things that were not COVID related, they were being turned away. So in situations like that, I do think it was appropriate for the state to close. So I wanted to say that before I pull up Mark's comment, because I think Mark hit the nail on the head. Oh, wait, where did it go? There it is. Not that one. I'll never let that go. What I'll say is Newsom wants to keep his job. And this one came
up. On video. This is live.
I know. I will never let this down. They will never let this down. And it is Newsom wants to keep his job. And I think Mark hit the nail on the head. He really does want to keep his job. And we do see that. And Newsom did change a lot of things once those numbers hit and he saw that he could actually possibly be recalled. So that's when he started making this. So Missy says Texas isn't forcing people to take the vaccine, though. I don't think anyone's forcing anyone to take the vaccine just yet. But I know there is. I think there's a bigger push for people in California. There's a bigger push. And then Mark says they ran out of Kool-Aid.
It's true. We really have only two ways to deal with this.
Right.
Everybody opens back up and you see what happens. Or you just say, fuck it, and open back up and see what happens.
Okay.
I love
exactly.
It's my new favorite friend.
I agree.
So Stephanie says, F Cali, F the vaccine. Don't F Cali yet. I need to live there. I need a place to live. So don't F it. Don't F it yet. And let's see. Oh, yeah. So then Lisa, sounds like they're advertising the opening of a new amusement park. And let's see.
Right.
And then Joanna says, well, it looks like everything is open now. I mean, we're back to experience rush hour traffic.
Oh, that's true.
Some things we haven't experienced since a year ago.
Right? Yeah.
And then no, not yet, but they are trying, Stephanie says.
Mhm.
Now, to end things off, as we're talking about things opening, we do know that someone here on this broadcast actually got the vaccine.
Angel
got the vaccine after telling me for months that he wouldn't get it. So, Angel, please tell us about your experience getting the vaccine after telling me for months that you would not get it. I'm supposed to scheduling my vaccine, but so I am scheduling my vaccine in 2 weeks. So, Angel, tell me about your experience. Yeah, I am. So, Angel, tell me about your experience with the vaccine.
What's your experience with the vaccine?
My experience is that I was waiting for like 20 long minutes. I will never recover my 20 long minutes in my life. But
Did they give you a bottle of water?
No. No, you know, they give me a sticker and they put a nice
Band-Aid. They put a really cute little Band-Aid. Oh my God.
So, Angel.
Sticker.
So, Angel, when you got the vaccine, which one did you get?
The Moderna.
Moderna. So you got your first shot?
That's private information. It's private information. Yeah.
He got the Moderna, so he has to go back.
Okay. And then will you be going back? That's my second. Will you be going back for that second shot?
April 29.
Okay.
So yeah.
And then have you been feeling any of this? Because I know people have been talking about they've been feeling symptoms. Have you been experiencing any symptoms?
Yeah, for some reason I got some symptoms in the night. I put my right hand on my wife.
Okay, so I'm going to show you guys over. So Mark says he was paralyzed. Joanna says I was wondering why Angel was so quiet tonight. And Stephanie had poison.
Oh my God.
I mean, there's tears in your eyes. You're like,
So what happened was Saturday he took my mom to get her second shot.
Where's
And she
this
got her
crazy?
second shot. And they decided, I guess they asked him, would you like to get it? And he did it, and he sent me a picture. So I actually started working at a real estate office. So just letting you guys know, I'm a real estate agent now as well.
Sohaila does everything.
Yeah, right. And so he sent me this picture. I said, "Oh, hell no!"
So here's
I said, "That's a joke, right?" No. And I said, "Oh my God!" So today,
so he went behind your back. He went behind your back.
I know, he did behind my back. I couldn't believe it. And so my mom and I, we were in Costco today, and she goes, "They're giving away shots." I said, "Oh no, I'm still not going to take it. I don't care. No.
Sure.
So they keep saying, "You're going to take it." Nope.
Sure.
Nope.
Show the picture.
I don't have it. You
I
have
see.
When
it?
did you send the picture?
No, he actually sent it to me.
I
Was it
sent it to you.
Facebook?
I sent it to you already. Wait and
Really?
yeah.
in the
It was
picture,
on- where was it?
The meter was empty.
The network.
You did?
The Power Hour talk.
Yeah.
was
The
good.
I'll check in a second.
I went to the Lions. That wasn't it, Angel.
So let's go to the comments really quickly.
You're right. It's right there. Look.
Oh, there he is.
There he
Angel
is.
really got the shot. So there we go, guys. Angel went ahead and got the shot.
Wow.
But let's go
I
to
thought it
the
was
comment
good.
section really quickly, and then we'll talk about how it's going to go back and forth between Sohaila not getting her vaccine and Angel getting his second dose.
I don't know
So-
what happened. My secondary effect that I got the shot and Mel was crying. So I don't know.
There you go. I cried. So Stephanie says not yet, but they're trying. I believe that's going back to making the vaccine mandatory. Missy says give them time. They'll start enforcing it. Again, I believe that has to do with the vaccine. So Stephanie says, "Oh Lord," I think that's in response to Angel getting the vaccine.
You know what?
Lindsay says,
Oh,
"My
wow.
boss is getting his second one tomorrow, and they're going to skip all over the all over the paralyzed. I'm going to wait to see how the experiment turns out." So Angel's our experiment, and the whole
Right,
world is
right.
an
We'll see
experiment.
how it
But Angel's definitely the experiment.
To be honest with you, I was a little bit confused before I
Right.
got the shot.
Why?
because I was thinking left or right. So left, and then no, it's gonna be in the arm. So.
And then Misty
Now-
says symptoms in 6 months to a year. So she's saying that she
Right,
believes it's going to be some kind of symptoms.
That's what I want to see too. Now, my mom got her second shot, and she didn't get sick at all on either of the shots. She didn't even feel it. So, way to go, Ma.
She said, "I want to go to the casino."
Yeah, that's true.
Oh no, she had a symptom then. That symptom was spend her cash. So I got a couple things to address on this, because what a lot of people aren't talking about, and they just put out recently, is the vaccine's only good for 6 months. What's going to happen again in 6 months?
Really?
You're gonna have a.
Yeah.
I thought that was only for the single shot, the Johnson & Johnson.
Both of them, 6 months is what they're estimating. What's going to happen in 6 months again?
Now you're gonna have an addiction to drugs.
Yeah, they're putting crack cocaine in there like Coca-Cola did, them angels. So, yeah, but honestly, they're saying now the vaccine will only last 6 months, and then you have to re-up.
Oh my God, that's getting.
If you don't re-up in 6 months, do we have COVID coming back? Where we're going to shut everything down?
Right.
So, well, honestly, at this point, all we can do is wait and see.
And the second thing I was going to say is,
go ahead.
Angel, you got to be careful taking these photos, because I can see every bit of this nurse's personal information on her badge.
Oh,
Every bit, including her name, where she works, and her barcode information.
wow. That's crazy.
Phones are that good nowadays where you can zoom in and see this stuff.
Right?
So we will not be posting that picture of Angel to protect this nurse's identity.
Yeah, you're right. There it is, right there. That's true.
We will. So I was like, yes, we will. So let's go to the comments now. Again, before I jump to these comments, I'm going to say this.
I didn't post
People-
that picture. I just shared with some influencers. That's all.
No, but I just posted it. We're live, and I showed it. That's
Yeah,
what he
but,
said.
Well, you showing it is one thing, but don't post the photo, because this
Yeah.
poor nurse. Yeah, don't.
No.
So
I
guys.
said.
So before we jump in, I'm going to run through the comments, and I'll let everyone speak again. But before I run through the comments, I know this is something that people are going back and forth. There are people who are definitely pro-vaccine, and they want to see as many people get vaccinated for COVID-19. And they do believe that they are saving lives doing this. And on the other side, we have people who are very much against the vaccine. Some people are saying it's because it really hasn't been tested. So we have two groups of people who are definitely going back and forth. I know we're probably going to see this in the comment section below again, but I do want everyone to have the opportunity to state their opinions. So whether you're pro-vaccine or against vaccine, I am going to go ahead and read all your guys' comments and really see. Like I said, Angel went ahead and got his vaccine. I'm actually going to be getting my vaccine, I think, in 2 weeks. I'm supposed to schedule it. So I think I'm getting mine in 2 weeks, but I know Wade is not getting one, and Sohaila's not getting one. So even as we see on the Power Hour panel talk, we are all vastly different. And I know you guys are going to be vastly different as well. Let's go ahead and get these comments.
If you don't get the shots, we will see you guys in the next live.
Look, I'm not against the vaccine. I'm just saying never buy version 1 of anything.
And that's what a lot of people are saying too. They're saying, let you guys be the guinea pigs, and then we'll see what happens from there. So Mark says, going to get another cold or flu, and I think this is after the 6 months that Wade is talking about. Stephanie says, why be a guinea pig?
Right.
Stephanie also says, I just don't understand why someone would want to be a test subject. Joanna is laughing at all of us. And Misty says, no, it's a different strain that starts to decline in your health. And then Joanna says, I'm waiting maybe in December 2022. So again, some people are waiting. Some people are just against it. Some people, like myself and Angel, are probably Angel already got his, and I'm probably getting mine soon. So we will watch and see. And as we are talking on the Power Hour panel talk, since Angel and I will be the ones with the vaccines, you guys can watch in real time to see if we turn into some kind of zombie or something, so we can be your guinea pigs from there. Don't look so excited about that, Wade.
Look, I am desperate for the zombie apocalypse. All right? So much ammo and so many guns. I am so excited for it.
I don't want to interrupt you guys, but I just want to let you guys know that we're running out of time.
20 yards.
Okay, I thank you, Angel. I will make sure we end on time. Angel's the new timekeeper. He took the job for me. It's like, okay, next topic. I have the time. So Stephanie says, I will never get any poison injected. And then Joanna says, yes, I heard about the zombies. So we'll see. We'll be right here on air. And then Stephanie says, I'm with you, Wade. LOL. So we'll see if we're entering into the zombie apocalypse. You know, Notre Dame said something about it. Please don't write in about Notre Dame, guys. We're not getting into that discussion because that will cause a whole nother thing. Lindsay says, I'm waiting on my vaccine, but I'm the same way. Vaccines need time to be truly tested, and I'm not ready to have that 1% chance of something going wrong rest on my shoulder. Missy says, zombie apocalypse 2022. So we will see if we are entering the zombie apocalypse of 2022 for whatever reason. If that's the case, Angel has his musket, Wayne has his AK. So we'll see who wins that fight with the zombies. So guys, thank you so much for tuning in. This is the Power Hour panel talk. And thank you, Angel, so much for keeping us on track. We come live every...
You're running out of time, Mel.
We come live every single Tuesday evening. Wait, guys, let's not go get our good arms.
Look,
I may have something.
I had weapons on the show. Now he's had what you could consider a weapon on the show.
So Lindsay says, LOL. Stephanie says, you guys are awesome. Thank you so much. This is not going on screen. There we go. You guys are awesome. See, I wasn't making that comment up. So thank you so much for tuning in, guys. We come live every single evening. And now you can also catch us on Roku on ENSL. So you can go ahead and search that. I'll put the link in below too, where you can find us on Roku. And then we have a lot more shows coming as well. So be aware and watch out for the new shows that we have coming. My name is Mel. You can watch me every single Monday through Thursday at Live with Mel, where I talk about current events. I talk about a lot of current events. So, that's the thing. And then Wade, what you have going this way this time? what events or anything do you have coming up?
We have two things coming up that are pretty awesome. The end of this month, we're actually pulling out of Facebook. All of our Smoke and Bacon pages are closing down from Facebook, and we're moving everything over to our platform. We're finally at a point where we can do that. So, yeah, Facebook can suck it. Second,
Power Hour Panel Talk still broadcast on Facebook, so you don't completely suck it. But Wade is the founder of social media. So.
Again, I can't give you too many details, but we have Project Legend coming up, which is going to be a whole lot of fun over the next couple months. And I will let out some tidbits here and there about what we're doing.
Hey, can you do me a favor? Can we transmit Cinco de Mayo on your platform?
Oh yes, we're doing Cinco de Mayo live.
So Cinco de Mayo will also be on ENSL on the Roku channel. Anyway, so Sohaila, Angel, what do you guys have going on?
We're actually taking a hiatus for 3 weeks for Coffee with the Queens because we just finished our first season. We've had 25 shows. Yay! Very exciting. So we're working on our second season now. Just letting everybody know. And we'll be back in a few weeks. But I'm starting a new program called the Speaker's Ultimate Toolbox Program. And yeah, I know. And that's going to be with Margie Dunkey Jacobs. Very exciting for that. So soon I'll be talking about that more. And then we have our Cinco de Mayo Festival. And that Angel could talk to you a little bit about that if you want. And then, of course, I'm your belly dance entrepreneur expert. I still have my belly dance classes on Wednesday evenings. And I am a realtor. So if you are in the California area and you need to buy or sell a house, let me know. I'll have fun with you guys selling or buying. So pick me. And what?
I have a challenge for you.
What?
You have to sell a house while belly dancing in the living room.
Angel, Angel, what do you have going on?
I'll take that challenge.
It has to be recorded.
So anyway, look at this lovely home right here. Okay, and so Angel, talk about your Cinco de Mayo.
Yeah, Cinco de Mayo is going to be Sunday.
So we're going to do it May 2nd.
May 2nd.
Yeah, from 10 to 2 p.m. Right. And it's going to be live via Zoom. I'm going to be in studio here doing demos and other dancing, and he's going to be outside in the backyard
Before we leave,
with live dancers.
Before we leave, I want to ask you a question. After we get off the live, I have a question for you guys, because there is a couple
After or before?
After.
Oh, after. Oh, cool.
And the other thing is, before my wife and I, we watched the Cinco de Mayo movie.
Oh,
And
yeah.
before the movie, I asked my wife, "Tell me about Cinco de Mayo," and she said, "Chips, salsas, beer,
And margaritas."
Tacos, quesadilla, street food.
And then after we
But then
watched
after
the movie,
it's like, wow, that was really cool. Yeah. Then I told him more about what happened. That was really cool. So if you haven't watched Cinco de Mayo, it's a movie.
come over.
We watch it. Come on over. We'll watch it.
Everything will be open June 15th, so come on over.
We're open now. Sorry.
All right, so running through the comments really quickly, guys. So Stephanie says you guys are all, I read that one already, but I'll put it up again because we are awesome, and you are awesome too, Stephanie. So thank you. Joanna says, thank you guys. Love it. Great show. Yes, the smoke.
Yes.
Smoke and bacon is greater than Facebook.
Woo-hoo!
Smoke and bacon. And then I never know what those mean. I am the worst millennial. I cannot like translate emojis. Like I'm the worst millennial ever. So Stephanie says, can I just say I respect you two as a couple. You obviously have conflicting views and still have love. And I really love that comment. And so Sohaila and Angel are definitely two people who we can all look at and say that you can still have conflicting views and still have the love. And I think I want to say that all of us on the show, we don't agree. We don't agree on anything. I mean, nothing. Like even the married couple down there, they don't agree. We don't agree on anything, but we do want to have the conversations. And at the end of the day, once we get off here, there's no arguing, there's no fighting. We literally talk about dinner plans. Right. Who's going to visit who. So guys, thank you so much for tuning in. And that is the power couple of Escondido down there. So you guys are a testament to a lot, because you guys have a great marriage and you don't agree on everything, like vaccines. Mm-hmm. So guys, thank you so much for tuning in this evening. This is the Power Hour Panel Talk, and we come live every single Tuesday night. So check us out every single week. We talk about a lot of current events, and we want to know what your opinions are, because your opinion matters. Again, we don't agree, so we know you guys aren't going to always agree with us, but we want to have the conversation with you guys, and we want you guys to write in and let us know how you're feeling. So guys, thank you so much for tuning in, and I will see.
Before you leave, tell them about your new Roku station, and I'm going to have my Sohaila's Home Shopping Network on there soon too.
Yep. So all the shows are now on Roku. All the shows. So Live with Mel's show, the talk show. So Sohaila's Boutique. All of that is on ENSL, and we're going to have a bigger launch coming up. So guys, tune into the station, and I'll drop the link so you guys can go put it on your Roku. But you can watch us on TV now. So guys, thank you so much for tuning in. And then Missy says, enjoy meeting you. I know we all enjoyed meeting you as well. So thank you so much for tuning in. And guys, this is the Power Hour Panel Talk. Check us out every single Tuesday evening. Guys, we're here. We're talking about current events, and none of us agree. So it's going to be very, very entertaining.
And please share.
And please share. And we have a lot of jokers on the show. So go laugh as well.
Yeah.
So guys, thank you. Bye, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in.